Let's discuss strategic performance management in Georgia education. In this case study, the identified organization is the Georgia schools and school systems. The issue is that there was a need in Georgia to close the gap in performance management practices and create alignment of practices from the classroom to the state. The key players collected data by looking at state student test data, interviewed school superintendents, conducted focus groups, researched strategic performance management adoption in other states, and hired a researcher to provide a report on the use of strategic management tools in public education. The data that was collected is the interim student performance data that will support predictive performance analysis, goals that were developed by the school superintendents, and conducted a job task analysis of the work of the school leaders. The solution of the intervention that was implemented is the balanced scorecards training, which aligns activities to the vision and strategy of the organization, improve internal and external communication, and monitor performance against strategic goals. This training and job aid provided support for potential adopters. Tools to aid adoption and reduce time in understanding the new practices were provided by templates, and motivation for potential users was done by increasing the ease of adoption, sharing the success of early adopters, and rewarding the adoption of current practices with new practices. The results of this intervention in this case were over 5 years, more than 700 leaders were trained. 50% of the districts reported use of the new practices. The Georgia Department of Education evidenced adoption of the practices. The School Board Association embedded the tools and terminology in the strategic planning software. The new tools and practices created were data-driven evaluation processes for superintendents, and the revised school board standards required the use of data-driven strategic management tools. The lessons that were learned was that the adoption of new tools requires performers to see successful adoption by others and have time to master new practices. Transferring ownership is also key for long-term adoption. Good tools support faster adoption, and effectively designed training can be an action vehicle for change. Alignment of practices, terms, and tools for improvement requires creating value for each organization, and peer-to-peer networks and training creates motivation for adoption by others. What did I learn from this case study was that when identifying a performance problem, you must be able to identify an issue and the organization the issue occurs in. The issue must be observable and can be monitored through data analysis. When considered a solution for performance improvement, consider what you want your outcome or results to be. Look at the issue from a systemic view, considering all the contributing factors to the overall problem. How could this case study contribute to my HPI project? Well, I learned that the importance of being systematic in the development of the solution, which means being very detailed with each component so that the targeted adopters are not resistant to the new practices and tools.
Created using Powtoon.